high profile, but the profile you got from the Daily Mail this week, recently, were you happy with it?
Well, certainly wasn't happy with it. It's, of course, some people say all publicity is good publicity. The problem with this report, it just doesn't focus on or reflect on Sue and myself. It was the vulnerable care residents of the care home that we were performing to, because it, sort of spitefully said, and I've got broad shoulders, I can take all the criticism from a newspaper. It's, to say I'd reached a low point in my career because I was performing to some old dears. This is what I said, yeah. And of course, the people who organised all of that were very hurt by it. I mean, these are not my words, I didn't prompt them to say it, but they're quite devastated in fact. And what they tarnished what was really quite a nice happy day. Yeah. And they also went on to say, of course, that somebody fell asleep. Now, people of that age might fall asleep. On this occasion, there was no one asleep. We've got this catchphrase, which nobody sleeps while I'm on. The doors are locked, you can't get out. The doors are locked, you can't get out, and all of that. So we have a lot of banter with them. And so elderly people are like children in some ways, but they'll just say what they're thinking. And if you're taking a bit of time, maybe setting up, or they say, "Get on with it," we've got tea coming in a minute. It's a lot of fun. It's quite moving, isn't it?
I think what the article was saying was that it was, old people are not entitled to be entertained, or that they're a lower class of audience because they're old. And we both think that's really a terrible thing to say, and the fact that they ridiculed us for entertaining old people, which, by the way, we only take expenses. We don't get paid huge amounts of money to do it. We both have, I have a close relative that has it. David's mum died from Alzheimer's and dementia. And we know how that music and singing is one of the things that dementia patients and older people can respond to.
Yeah, it stimulates.
They remember the words therapy. And they sing along, and you can spend an hour there, and before you get there, you see a lot of people that are quite sort of into themselves and not very happy, and then by the end of the hour they're all laughing and happy, and you've brought some happiness into their lives. And we were ridiculed for doing that.
I mean, it's that old thing with some of the older people, they can't tell you what they've had for breakfast that morning, but they can remember all the words to a song that's 50 or 60 years old. And so we don't do necessarily the war songs and Cliffs of Dover and things like that. We're doing Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, 60s, the Monkees, Daydream Believer and things like that. They're all singing along, having a good time, and it's not about us, it's about them, it's about connecting.
Yeah, I think that in the article, they were insinuating that maybe we were singing dollar songs, and that the lady in the audience had fallen asleep. We don't sing dollar songs.
We did get a request once.
Yeah, but that's normally from
one of my old friends.
That's normally from the nurses, not the actual residents, because the residents probably wouldn't really know those songs because they are a bit older. So we sing all the kind of 50s and 60s.
Yeah.
Dusty Springfield. And
when you first came to South Ockenden and into Thurrock, and you wanted to give something, one of the first things you did was the concert at the Thameside Theatre, wasn't it?
Exactly. So this is not a bandwagon we're jumping on. I think I've been in the jungle in 2008, in fact, and all the money I raised through the telephone calls to ITV on the voting side, it was quite a substantial amount because I was in there 18 days in the jungle. That was all donated to the Alzheimer's Society, and continuing that for some continuity. When we came out, you were right, the first concert we did here in Thurrock was at Thameside, and that was in aid of old elderly people, basically, care homes. And they don't always have to have dementia. Not everybody in a care home's got dementia, but that was us giving something back, because as I say, I lost my mother to it. We've got close relatives right now going through it. I mean, I don't really know anyone who hasn't got somebody close that's going through dementia.
Have you complained about it?
I've complained to it's really good actually in some ways, because you know when you're right going to court and you know you're right, it's the best place to be. But if you're on shaky ground, but in this instance, I know that nobody fell asleep there.
The other thing was they said that a relative complained, but we know there was only 3 relatives there that day, and they didn't complain.
No,
so that they just made that up.
They made the whole thing up. They don't seem to have learned anything from the Leveson report at all. You know, there they are just making things up, because why let the truth get in the way of a good story? Now I see all that. I see the picture that was out there, and it does appear that the lady's going to sleep. Fortunately, in fact, for us, she wasn't. But they've gone and, you know, put the spin on it, and really it was just a very cheap, nasty pop at me.
And finally, you're going to continue to do this type of work.
We're going to do even more of it. The phone's red hot. People are ringing up and saying, what do you expect people to do? Of course they might nod off. And you've got to remember, a lot of people are on medication as well. So it might be, if they have nodded off, it could be due to that, you know. So, no, we will do more.
I mean, I think that, you know, even if we was doing it as our main source of income, which we're not, because we have our cabaret work that we do in the evenings.
Oh yeah, I mean,
and
as you say, like 9 days after we appeared at that care home, we were on the bill at Jack Up the 80s at the Island, right in front of 10,000 people, on a bill with Go West at ABC. So, you know, was that something to be ashamed of? Then, you know, they don't put that. We're in Southend on Saturday, Braintree the following week. We enjoy, even that's not our main source of income, to be fair. Sue's got a very successful beauty.
So if it was our main source of income, which it isn't, because we get very little out of it after we've paid expenses and petrol and this
transport, hotels.
The fee is very, very small. If it was our main source of income, what is wrong with that? You know, like people that have been supporting us have all been saying, well, they're working, they're doing something, they're going out there.
I suppose, Sue,
entertaining.
They write it up as if it's a great fall from selling millions of records to maybe appearing to 30 people in a care home. Well, of course there is a difference, but that was 30 years ago that I did that. And along with many other artists from the 80s, you know, things change. You know, we don't sell records anymore. We make the odd one, but we more or less do that for ourselves. You know, singing for us is, because we love it, is a hobby just as much as anything else, and it gets us out of the house.
David.